are all here, let's start the meeting. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for making yourself available for this second bulk meeting. Unfortunately, Mr. Shawal cannot attend this meeting as he is attending the conference in Los Angeles. I'm afraid Miss Emily cannot with us today too, as she is on her vacation with her family in Singapore. Let us have to look at our second meeting today. We have to discuss our company's corporate responsibility program, which is to increase the quality of life among the urban poor in Malaysia. Our company, Fantastic Masterpiece Holdings Sdn Bhd, plans to support the government's efforts by intensifying community service through our company's 2023 corporate responsibility programs. Before we proceed, here are the minutes of our last meeting. Let's go over it quickly. Do you have any amendments to make?
Yes, excuse me, Mr. Jefferson. I noticed there was a mistake in the date of the program, as it was supposed to be held in February, but ended in March.
Okay, Mr. Wan Alif, and thank you for the notice. Yes, I will take note of this matter and later I will make the correction clearly. Are there any other amendments to make?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairperson. I would like to make another one amendment, which is an error on page 3 in the minute. We actually allocated RM 2,100 for purchasing the necessary items last year and we agreed that the amount should be retained.
Okay, Ms. Fatima, and thank you for the notice. I think that is a good amendment to make, and the obvious correction will be made in our meeting minutes. Ms. NAJIHAH, do you have any other amendments to make in our meeting?
I think there is no other amendment.
Yes, I agree very much with you, Ms. Nadia.
Okay, thank you. In that case, will someone propose that the minutes of the previous meeting be accepted, please?
I propose that the meeting be accepted.
Alright, thank you for the great response. I hereby confirm the minute of the last meeting with 2 amendments. Before we proceed with the agenda, is there any arising matter that anyone would like to ask?
Yes, Mr. Chairperson, I just would like to know if our allocation we set are sufficient.
Ms. Fatima, could you please respond to this question?
Yes, Mr. Chairperson. Recently, we have received 3 sponsors from the United Kingdom, namely BDS Sponsorship, Worldwide Hospitality Group Ltd, and SNAP Sponsorship. They have agreed to offer us sponsorship of 47 and 80 USD equivalent to RM 2,100 for the implementation of a program to improve the quality of life of urban poor.
Thank you, Ms. Fatima. Is there anything else? Right, if there is nothing more, let us move on to our first meeting agenda. Well, our company would like to keep abreast of the current change around with people urban poor and try to respond to their needs. There are issues that the urban poor often face. Among them, the urban poor often ignore the quality of cleanliness in their life. Therefore, among the solutions, we need to support by being a good example to the outside community. For example, we hold programs related to ways to improve the quality of life. I would like to hear some suggestions from all of you.
Mr. Jefferson, in my opinion, as we know, most of the flats in Malaysia with dirty environment with stagnant water can be a breeding ground of many dangerous diseases. So that efforts to clean the yard must be done to avoid various diseases and natural disasters. Thus, the program can make the flats we focus on can be an example to others. There are many ways to clean the area of flat house that can be done, such as there are not throwing garbage everywhere, cleaning the drains, and separating the type of garbage. With this effort, the environment will become cleaner and reduce the risk of dangerous disease. First, gotong royong. is one of the effective ways to keep the environment clean. Not only does it help to clean the environment, the habit of working together can also strengthen the bond of cooperation between citizens. Normally, this work of cleaning the environment is done at least once a week. By getting used to this activity, the surrounding environment will be cleaning and avoid various diseases that can threaten. Number two, one of the most important ways to keep the environment clean is to dispose of garbage in the proper place. The habit of throwing rubbish in the wrong place will definitely have a negative impact on the environment. Not only does it cause the environment to become dirty, littering discriminately can also impede the flow of rivers, which ultimately triggers flash floods. When the garbage gets stuck, the flow of the river will stop and the volume will increase. This is what has to potentially to cause get stress. By throwing garbage in its place, this can prevent the risk of flooding. And last, separate the theft of garbage. As already know, until now the accumulation of garbage in Indonesia is still the main problem of environmental pollution. In fact, Indonesia has been dubbed as the largest emitter of plastic waste into the sea in the world after China. Because of that, it is appropriate as a citizen to know the type of waste and how to manage it. As for the type of waste, it's natural. It is divided into two, namely organic and organic waste. Inorganic waste is waste that is not easily stuffed, such as plastic containers, bottle, paper, plastic toy, and drinking glasses. This type of waste can also refer to as waste produced from materials that do not come from the nature organic materials, but man-made items. Meanwhile, organic waste is one of the type of waste. This is commonly used as compost. This type of waste is the opposite of inorganic waste because it's very easy to decompose. Some examples of organic waste include food waste, vegetable, leaf, and etc. That's all from me. Thank you.
I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Wan Alif. Hygienic is very important thing in our life, especially homes. Flat houses are not occupied by adults but there are also children, babies, and the elderly. All of them are categorized as susceptible to disease. With this program, we can save flat residents' life from disease infectious animals such as rats, cockroaches, flies, and mosquitoes. I believe this program can help them to live a comfortable life.
I'm sorry, I disagree with you too. In my opinion, the excessive cleanliness makes our immune system weak, which removes the beneficial microbes present in our body, as a result of which we fall sick more often. We get prone to skin allergic and rashes due to frequent washing by soaps. But if one uses gloves, they are safe. Also, our skin loses its moisture and gets dry due to frequent washing. It makes us less satisfied about our surroundings. It makes us misuse a lot of water, and we tend to spend more time in cleaning and have less time left for other things.
I think I agree with your opinion just now. In my opinion, extreme hygiene care will give us a little deficiency because it can also bring disease. Therefore, I support the recommendation to use gloves when doing something and we don't need to spend much money on it. This indirectly keeps our body's immune system strong.
This is wonderful suggestion. Okay, perhaps we must study the cons and disadvantages of cleanliness, which we need to spend more money to implement it. Can we agree on this, everyone?
Yes, I agree with you.
Yes, I think that is absolutely right.
Good. I would like Mr. Wan Alif to study the details and present them in our next meeting, okay? Thank you. Now, let's move on to our second agenda. Nowadays, the urban poor often ignore their health status. This causes their health quality status to decline. They prioritize basic needs such as food because they think that today's economy is higher and they are not able to do health check in clinic or hospital. Can I have some suggestion?
Mr. Chairperson, let me start suggesting us to do progress report of increasing health quality among urban poor population. Firstly, over 55% of the world population live in urban areas, and this is set to rise to 68% by 2050. Almost 40% of urban dwellers have no access to safely managed sanitation services, and many lack access to adequate drinking water. An estimated 91% of people in urban poor areas breathe polluted air. Poorly designed urban transport system create a range of threats including road traffic injuries, air and noise pollution, and barriers to safe physical activity that's all leading to higher level of non-communicable disease and injuries. Continued urbanization is expected to lead to cities becoming epicenters of disease transmission, including vector-borne disease around the globe. COVID-19 has spread quickly in areas with other existing health inequities, such as the unfair and preventable differences in people's health, well-being and access to quality health services. COVID-19 cases and death in deprived areas are double those of more advantageous areas.
That sounds like a very good idea. Could you please explain more about how it works?
Mr. Chairperson, to increase the health quality among urban poor, especially in Malaysia, we need to work to strengthen the evidence base to help policymakers make informed decisions when addressing health risks. Despite to order WHO, World Health Organization, it provides tools and guidance on what works and supports monitoring of key health-related indicators. Furthermore, we also lead and engages in fostering city-to-city exchanges and help develop institutional and policy frameworks for good urban governance for health and well-being in cities. Urban populations are often assumed to have better access to health care than those living in rural areas. However, urban health systems in many poorer countries have a weak to non-existent public health structure and lack implementation and infrastructures. Rapid urban growth in many settings has exceeded the capacity of health system to serve rapidly growing urban population. Just because health services are located in an urban area does not mean that they are easily accessible by urban poor health workers, and it difficult or the reluctant to serve extremely poor urban areas. For example, a female slum resident who is pregnant might live a short distance from emergency obstetric services, but if she needs help in the middle of the night, it might be too dangerous for her to leave her home to seek help.
Perhaps I should make it clear by saying that despite the challenge, cities can create opportunities for better health, cleaner environments and climate action. Strong urban policies must prioritize health, and it is essential for fostering good urban livelihood, building a productive workforce, creating resilient and vibrant community, enabling mobility, promoting social interaction and protect vulnerable populations.
Yes, exactly.
I agree with that. Almost that WHO's push to urban health focuses on better air quality, water and sanitation, and other environment determinants, healthier urban planning, healthier and smoke-free environments, safe and healthy mobility, preventing violence and injuries, promoting healthy food system and diets, environmental management of vector-borne disease, and urban preparedness for emergencies, working across sectors and ensuring the coherence of policies across different areas is key to creating supportive and enabling environments for health, which ensure that health and equity considerations are integrated throughout the planning process, investment and policy decision at the local level.
I think I agree with that. Mr. Wan Alif, is there anything that you would like to add?
Mr. Chairperson, I have nothing to add. I really agree with both the opinions.
Thank you, everyone. I would like Ms. Fatimah and Ms. Najihah to look future into these matters. You may set your team to study the ideas and report back to us in the next meeting. Now, let us discuss our final agenda, which is about giving food to urban poor regularly. Ms. Najihah, could you please explain more to us about this?
Yes, Mr. Chairperson. According to a United Nations report, nearly 500 million people will have insufficient food by 2021, and more than 1 billion people will face moderate to severe food insecurity. For the world, prevalence of food shortage increases to more than 29% in 2021 and more in 2023. The increase in the price of essential food increases and is quite expensive, especially for urban poor. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a major setback, causing massive job losses and disruption. The war in Ukraine has also driven up the prices of food, energy commodities, and fertilizers, making it difficult for millions of people to get enough to eat. Food is the most important thing for humans in life, and they need food to survive in the city. I suggest giving food to urban poor regularly is more convenient for this program, and this is a long-term program. Giving food to urban poor doesn't mean we have to give food to them every day, but we can distribute food once a month. We can target a place with many homeless people in KL and give 100 packs of cooked food and 18 packs of porridge a month. Other than that, giving food program not limited to just one place. We can go to flats around KL and supply wet food for 15 families. Giving wet food such as rice, cooking oil, sugar, salt, and other that can help them a bit in the city. About finance, we can raise funds for this program, and I believe that the finances that we set and the addition from the sponsors we get are enough for this program.
Sorry to interrupt, Ms. Najihah. There is a question that I would like to raise if we implement a food distribution program for the urban poor in the city, especially those living in flats. What are the risks and measures that need to be taken when problems arise, such as grabbing insufficient food, as well as dumping garbage and food waste everywhere?
I suggest that to avoid fighting over wet food among the urban poor in flats, we need to work with the head of the flat and get a list names of people who are in dire need in the flat. Because of that, the food we provide will be sufficient and there will be no fighting. The problem of food waste contamination that will happen, we need to provide a place to dispose of waste and need to distribute the task of cleaning up the waste after eating.
I agree with you, Ms. Najihah. Also, we can provide targeted cash, food transfers or vouchers for nutritious foods to poor urban households and providing free healthy school meals and educating school children in healthy diets and lifestyle, especially those living in urban slums and other poor urban environments.
I am sorry I could not agree more with your both opinion. Ms. Najihah, please take action and report in the next meeting. I am afraid we have a few minutes later. Is there any other business to discuss in our meeting?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairperson. I have a question. Can welfare matters open the other people HAIZZAD to have the urban poor?
This is a good question. For me, of course it can. This is because we can guide riders and set a good example to the community out there to help the urban poor to improve their quality of life. Other than that, in my opinion, I would like to suggest that we hold a financial assistance every year to the urban poor. Therefore, we can ease the burden of their life. Are there any matters to bring attention to?
I think there is nothing to discuss now, Mr. Chairperson.
Alright, since there is no other matters, let us bring this meeting to a close for today. Let us recap the meeting outcomes before that. We agree with the recommendation given by Mr. Wan Alif had a program to maintain cleanliness among the urban poor. This is because cleanliness is the main pillar of something. Without cleanliness, we will be susceptible to dangerous diseases. Mr. Wan Alif will study the details to maintaining the cleanliness of the urban poor in our next meeting. Finally, we will have a clearer guideline on cleanliness among the urban poor and distribution. And Ms. Fatimah will look into this matter too. We will meet again in the next meeting on the 26th of February. You have precisely a month to prepare for your report. See you in the next month. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.